back to Choose Your Own Path. Today we are going to do two things while we're doing this. One is we printed out a couple of models. Now this my nephew found. It's I don't know what the hell he called it. It's a death moose. So they cut the head off of the character and they put a moose head on it. It was pretty cool. And then second was I printed this little dragon, and today we're going to prime them and we'll see what they look like after. I tried to get off all the little bits and all that. One of the things we should do, just in general, is always make sure our 3D printer is the Kingroon, is basically you want to make sure everything is set and tight. One of the biggest things happens is with the vibration, these guys can come loose and cause malfunctions to your printer and stuff like that. So you want to make sure everything has, you just want to make sure you get in there, check all the settings, check all the hex keys and all that. Make sure you got a good tight fit on everything. It's a small maintenance kind of a job. Doesn't take very long. It's got so many hexes. This darn thing, I don't know which is which. So, like I said, we just want to make sure we got things tightened and that there's no issues. The wheel, you want to make sure that rolls well. You want to make sure the bed rolls well. Make sure all your plugs are going in. The only one major, I don't even know if it's a major issue, and is this little set thing here. It sits on a spring, all right, and what happens is you turn it up and down. So there's a little spring here, you can hear it, and it'll come down and it'll land on here, and there's a nozzle, the extruder shouldn't be hitting the bed at a huge height. So what I also like to do is make sure that everything is level, in the sense that I'll level the actual machine by a little level that I have here. Everything looks pretty good. So, but the bed and the nozzle don't always, they don't always work well together in that sense. So we're going to power it up. We still have quite a bit of PLA to use. First thing we're going to do is there is a button on here that says leveling, but we also need to get just a piece of paper. Now the piece of paper will allow it to sit under it. So we're just going to press the level button. We'll put these guys aside for now. Put that back. We gotta wait for the bed to come down. And we're having our 7 o'clock coffee. Alright, so you can see it's working its way down. There's no heat. The bed's not heated or anything. You don't want to do this when it's heated. I made that mistake the first time. I wear these guys because my eyes ache. And it actually burnt into the bed, which I ordered a new one. All right, so now the bed's all the way down. Now what we want to do is right under here, this piece of paper should just fit between the nozzle and the bed. So if it's too low, it'll squish between it. If it's too high, obviously it won't touch. What we're going to do is raise it a bit. This is the Z, so we want to make the Z go up a bit. And we want to bring this knob will control the height of the bed, the blue, where the blue is. It'll bring it up and down. So we want to bring it, when you go right to right, will bring that piece down, and counterclockwise will bring it up. So give it a couple of touches. You got to go back to the main level, go to leveling. I don't raise this all the way up because then it wouldn't work very well. So again, just to see if there's very much room. It's very hard to do this stuff leveling by eye. They do have machines. Sorry, I'm just going to put this here so I can see better. They do have machines that have self-leveling. My big bald head there. That doesn't look too bad, okay? So what we'll do is we'll go ahead. There's 5 points to level on this machine. You'll do each 4 corner. So we press 1 and we'll let the machine run to where it's supposed to go. And the same concept where this should be just snug. You got little flywheels under here, and what you're going to do is you're just going to turn them either right or left, clockwise or counterclockwise, until you can feel it snug. Now that's the wrong way, obviously, so we'll go this way. And I'll show you what I mean by snug. And I can still move the paper, but I'm moving it a lot. Now right now that's tight. I can't pull that paper out. That's not good. So I'm going to pull the paper gently, and you can see I moved it back and forth. Okay, so that's pretty good. There's good space between it. Okay, then we'll press the second point. Let's move these guys so I can break them. Same with this. This has way too much room. We're going to bring it down to where, again, pull it. I got it tight. Barely move it. I'm loosening it up a bit. There, it's nice and loose. We'll go to point 3, which is in the far right corner. Same thing. Way too loose. We'll bring it down. You can see that I'm very snug in there. The only bad thing about this, guys, and it was a bad design for it, is now we have to get to the 4th corner. The 4th corner is way in here where you have to get your finger in. Not impossible, but it wasn't really a great design for that. So same thing with this, way too much space. We're going to keep on trying to get it down. Oop, wrong way. My lefts and my rights aren't the best all the time. Okay, so there we go, pretty good. But in the same sense, where I pull that out and take my level, we're just going to the bed, you can see it's out. I don't know if you can see that ball in there. Maybe I could bring you guys closer in. Hold on. You can see the level is out. When you do one side to the other, you have to basically re-level everything. Same with this one. This one's pretty good, this side, but and this side too. But it's the up and down motion that it's basically needs. That back end should go, or the front end should go up just a little. So what we need to do is go back. So what we need to do is to go back to our first point to see what that's all about. See if anything moved. And it has. You can see, you can tell that it's not snug anymore. I want to make sure it's got some still. But then from there, I'll go to the fourth point. Oh shoot, I made a third. Sorry. I'll go to the 3rd point. So I'll go across the bed to see if it's moved, and that looks pretty good. And then I'll go to the 2nd point, which is across the bed this way. And you can see that, how loose it is. It went out of whack. So we need to bring that guy down just a bit. That's too tight. Like so. And then again, go to the 4th corner to see if it moved. And that one's not too bad, not too shabby. Maybe it's a little bit too tight, but that's good. And then the 5th point is, again, it's in the middle. This paper should just slide out with a little bit of pull, okay? Like so. So that tells me we are somewhat ready to go. but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it back up. And we'll check the levelness again. This way's good. This one is still out a bit for some reason. Like it should, the bottom, this side should go up. That's not too bad. And it's important to be level because then the prints won't work. Now the difference is what you're printing. If you're printing something higher up like this, that bed makes a big difference as it turns everything to the side. If we're printing, what we'll be printing today is the mask clips in the back. It takes about 45 minutes, so we'll go through that. So what I'm having difficulty with right now is it's not extruding the PLA properly. And I mean, it's not that it's not extruding it, it's just, it's giving me some issues where the one thing I do is, okay, step one, we need to preheat everything. The extruder should be at 180 to 185. Okay, so we're gonna take you down here and show you this. And you can see the numbers here. Let me just turn this camera around. Going up, I have it right now, it's going to 210, but it goes by 10 degrees Celsius right now. And what we'll do is we'll bring it down. You can see it goes down 190, 180. What we could do is we could do these in intervals of 1s or 5s. So we'll just plus that. You see how it went to 185, which is good. Then you press the extruder button. It shows you what the bed's at. The bed should be at 60. All right. So we'll just add 1. And now what we got to do is we got to let it heat up. All right. So we're going to let that heat up for a bit. All right. Just to see where it's at. It doesn't take too long. And as you can see, the extruder is already letting out some of the PLA. It's melting it, which is a good sign. We can check on that. It's at 187. It'll bring itself down to 185. We should just let. You can see it's going to go down. It'll stop there, and the bed will go up to 60. And when that's ready to go, what we do is we went to our computer. We have the Kingroon program, which I haven't tried the Cura yet or anything like that, or the Chitterbox. And what's going to happen is we put a file in, we put it to size, we bring it in. It's through. It has a micro mini that goes into USB. You take it out. You put it into the slot. That's right there. You see it's hanging out right there. That's what we're doing. And then we're ready to go. So right now, again, we're still waiting for the bed to warm up. Now, at 150 or 185, this is really hot. Touching this is not a good thing. It's hot. The bed, it's hot also. It's 60 degrees. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go back and we're going to go to the print button. All right. So all these here, these files are in that drive. It tells us what's in it. We're not going to touch any of them. We're just going to go page up. We have 2 files in here. One, the all-in-all was this guy, and the second is the surgical mask. And so we're going to hit that. We're going to have a confirm on it. We're going to make sure. I like to make sure that there is no residue, like no print hanging around. Okay, so we're going to see, and we're going to hope that this starts and it keeps on going. So I'll turn you guys around. So what it's going to do right now is it's bringing itself all the way down again, just before it hits the bottom and take the access out, and it's going to start printing. Now, if you notice, I should have let you guys hear. If you notice right off the bat, it doesn't give you any of this over here, and it started here. I don't know why. What it's doing right now is it's creating what it's called like a raft. This is the outside. It has absolutely nothing to do with what we're printing. Big chunks like this, you don't want that hanging. That's going to cause you a problem. As you can see, those little round pieces in the inside, that's the actual size of the holder for the masks. I was asked to do a couple of these for friends. Doesn't take very long, like 45 minutes. So as this is going, what I wanted to do is, as we're still making the video, is I wanted to start priming these two guys to show you the difference between, this is the white PLA, and again, where we go into priming it and then painting it. So first step is obviously to paint. The discs on here, okay, they don't look great. I don't know what it is, but these things got chopped off. One of the horns kind of fell off and his leg snapped. So what I did was I used a double epoxy, mixed it together, and I fixed it. So right now, this guy still has a little bit of issue. Not an issue, sorry. It's still got a little bit of wet epoxy. What happens with this epoxy, if only one side comes out, which I didn't notice, and the other side stays in, nothing happens. It won't work. They both have to come out, and they both have to be stirred and mixed properly in order for it to set. As in, again, the dragon was the same thing. The dragon leg snapped off while it came off from the set. It had, what do they call it? Supports, and when I popped it off, it accidentally snapped off the leg. But with the epoxy, you don't even notice it's gone. So this guy was fine. This guy, I kind of made a mistake, and then I thought letting it dry off by itself would be okay, but obviously the epoxy is not good to touch, right guys? You know that. I mean, I used just a little of it, so whatever, it's fine. That guy's working, so all we're gonna do is get ourselves a nice fat paintbrush. We use, or I use, this is a brush-on primer. It's called the Army Painter War Paints. I just picked it up from someone cheap. It was at a store. Give it a little bit of a shake. All right, give it a shake. And then we don't need much, just a couple of good gobs. We got 2 projects to do, so we might have to come back for more. And I just want to show you guys the difference, what it looks like when it's primed, because I don't think I've ever showed you guys. I mean, you've probably seen it, but the details will come out. Now, doing a review on this printer is great. It's not, I'm not being sponsored or paid by the company itself, because they haven't contacted me. I left them in a message saying, I really liked the machine, it was really good. If you have any more information, let me know, but they have not said anything more, which is fine. Would I recommend this machine for us beginners? Yes. This, for the price right now, it's 159 USD, which is American, which is just a little bit over 180, I think it is. Great price range for someone who wants to start off with miniatures and stuff like that. Thicker ones. I've tried to do a couple of characters for my nephew, and they're at the 25 to 30 mil height. They just don't come out very well. Maybe I'm not doing something right. TJ Rabisho is one of the guys that I was just floored from the dragon that I got from him, and I really wanted to get into this just for myself. I mean, again, anybody who wants minis made, they can always message me. My email, richard.gorio@gmail.com, and we can talk. It's like, stuff like this is very simple. I can do. I would do the PPP thing I called before. I will print them, I will prime them, you pay for them, and 4Ps. You pay for them and you paint them. Because I don't think it's a good idea that I paint them, in case you don't like my paint job. But priming, that's not an issue. I can have that all set up and go. Price vary, of course. You know, we're not gonna. I'd rather just send you guys to my buddy TJ. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and I'd love to support his business in the sense where we'll send him to him if you really want something elaborate like that big dragon. The difference between the materials, this dragon here is like a softer kind of rubber. This is like a harder plastic, which is good for game sets like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, I guess. I think this is a Fallout character, I'm not sure, or Gazlan or something. I don't play the games. I think I said that about 1,000 times. So, but I think they're pretty cool. I'm always interested in all this kind of stuff, the monsters and all that, the builds. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this guy up, and we'll show you what we're at. So you can see there's a percentage mark on there, and it says 46%, and that's what we're getting to. There's probably about maybe 3 millimeters of it going on. That's pretty cool. And there's our guys all primed up and ready to go. Now it needs to dry because it's wet, but you can really get the detail off of these guys. Like, where's that guy? The details of what you see from this machine, this little machine that prints. I was talking about, would I recommend this machine as a beginner? Yes, I would. Little tweaks that go on. A lot of people play with their machines where they'll change out the fans, they'll change out that, they'll change this up. I don't know what the hell. I'm new. I'm not touching anything. I like the way it's going. I think the program itself is what I need to play with to change, to get either thicker, thinner, taller, whatever. At 188 by 188 by, well, this is 180, sorry, 180, not 188, all the way around, 180 high, which is about 7 inches. I could print probably close to that dragon there, but the wings separate. So that's pretty cool. Different kind of material, PLA, hard. Just think of this stuff as like the wire you'd use for your weed whacker. That's what it feels like. Pretty easy. So when this guy is done, I will pull it off and we will look at it together. What, 15 minutes later, we got her off the bed. Pull her off. Take off the little scragglies. And there you go. It's pretty solid. It's a little warm still, so it'll bend a lot easier. A little bit of a cleanup, and yeah, these guys are ready to use. So that's it. Just wanted to show you guys a little quick video of setting up the leveling. It's ready to go for another one. Priming these guys, and there it's on. So thanks for watching. If I could do it, you can do it. Choose your own path. See you later.